I'm Jason JayRock Houston, and this is the This Is Metal Show. And today our guest is, will you guys please introduce yourself?
Yeah,
Hey,
this
I'm
is
Jimmy Burkyard.
we're both talking, Jimmy. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay. Hey, I'm Jimmy Burkyard from the Suite, and you're watching the This Is Metal Show.
And I'm Richie Onori with the Suite, and you're listening to and watching This Is the Metal Show.
That's right, Richie. Thanks for that great introduction. Now, I got to ask you guys. Of course, the latest single is for the song "Insane." Talk a little bit about the song, and Jimmy was just telling me and Tom before we went on the air here that you guys are working towards a full-length album. So let's talk a little bit about that, Richie.
Well, that's right. We ended up doing a deal with Dark Star Records, and they're a really great label. They're promoting. We did more of a pop song called Little Miracle.
Yeah.
We did Insane, and get ready for our third, fourth, fifth, sixth release. So it's going to be very powerful. We're excited about the future as we, nowadays you release one song at a time and then you aggregate to, the full on deal. So album, and there'll be a lot of opportunity for fans out there to get the full album when we play live. And who knows, you can download it on Apple, but Insane's available right now on all the platforms.
And let me ask you, Richie, a veteran musician yourself, what do you think of the new way of doing things, kind of releasing a song at a time versus the old school way of, going in and putting out the whole album?
That I've never been asked that before. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, in some ways it could be a good thing.
Yeah.
I like old school. I like actually CDs where people can hold it and grab it. I like vinyl, which has come back to a degree.
Sure.
Just behind Tom right now that you can hold it and grab it. So it's a weird landscape as an artist that what we face nowadays. It's very strange, but you got to go with the way it is with the technology and so forth. Yeah.
I'm going to throw it to my partner, Tom. Tom, you must have a question for guys before you ask your questions. I'm aware of the fact, Tom, that you actually did a show with these guys. You want to refresh their memory?
Yeah.
About that?
Yeah, we were in Syracuse with you guys. We did the direct support for you guys when you guys played the Syracuse at Sharky's, the outdoor stage there. What a fun time it was last summer. But I just want to say my observation of this song, Insane. I love that song. It just reminds me of Sweet coming into the 21st century. It's just really cool. It's got all the elements. I mean, it could be, I thought that could be a breakout song for you guys. I mean, I think that's going to do quite well, especially when you come out with an album too. But the writing of that song, why don't you tell me a little bit about that? I mean, the guitar riff, I know Jimmy on there. Let's talk about
So guitar, yeah. Patrick and I worked on that to get started on it at least. He hummed a riff, and that's how I interpreted it. He came out with that riff, and then we got in a room in the studio and started doing drums. We all fleshed that out together, as far as an arrangement and stuff, and it came together like that. So, and I love it too as a guitar player.
Yeah,
I always love that hard rock thing and the aggression in there, So I had a good time with that one.
Great. So, is the rest of the new songs that are coming out, are they aggressive like this? Are they more laid back? What is this album going to be diverse? I mean, just kind of curious. Let's talk about what you guys will be doing with the next song that comes out.
Diverse, yeah, diverse is what we're going for. Whatever we feel, and because music is emotion.
Sure.
So we got that one, which is kind of the heavier side. We got Little Miracle, which is a pop, thing. We got there's a ballad coming out that was written by Steve Priest and the guys that his bass is on it. So that's coming. We got another one that's maybe progressive elements. I know Richie loves that stuff. It's hard rock, but progressive elements too. A lot of jamming. And Richie?
Yeah, I mean this one that we're gonna fool with on Thursday, we already laid down groundwork. And Jimmy, make sure you bring that to rehearsal. That what we did with over the phone.
Oh, you got it. I'll work on it.
Okay, yeah, let's get ready for that because this one, the way I hear it in my head, it is going to be freaking epic. And it's exactly with you doing the middle. It's going to be right up your guys' alley. It's almost like progressive Zeppelin.
Wow. Nice.
and meets sweet. When you mix all this stuff in a pot, like how Insane came together, and you start mixing these ingredients,
Sure.
sweet, and then Queenish vocals, and then you put that, the everything that influenced us to be in this freaking business. Okay, the reason we're in this business is to get high off the music, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's like why I'm so dedicated is I get high off music. And when you play together as a band and you have the right chemistry, like this band,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, I'm going back when I put my group Saturn together with Chuck Wright and Pat Reagan when I was 22, because we had unbelievable chemistry. And that's what this band has. I look at Jimmy and I feel like I played with him my entire life, and vice versa. It's like magic. So get ready for this next song. This next song we're going to put out is going to be really just where Insane leaves off. This will be the next level.
And I love the fact that you guys are working on new music, because that proves that the Suite is much more than just a nostalgia act. I mean, you are one of those bands that could go out and do the greatest hits tour every year, and people would come and see you. But I love the fact that you're so much more than that. But I do want to ask you guys about one of my all-time favorite Suite classic songs that, oddly enough, I learned about through Poison covering, was the song Little Willie. I want to know, what did you think of Poison's version of that song? And what's it like to get up and play a great, rock tune like that?
I dig what they did with it. I did what any band does with it. Their version of Little Willie. Um, I've heard Steve Stevens and the guys doing Action, but that was one of the first ones I remember from the '70s. Being a little kid, me and my sister singing along to those lyrics.
Yeah.
And when we play that live, the audience they're all up. They're up
Yeah, it's just
out
a
of the
fun tune,
seats.
and
Mhm.
it doesn't even matter what it's really about. But in prepping for the interview today, before we went on, I went on YouTube and I came across, which of course, you wouldn't have been in, but uh, the band's performance on of Little Willie on Top of the Pops, and just what a great performance of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny about Little Willie. The guys didn't play. The original guys didn't play on that track. Those were studio musicians with Brian vocals.
Interesting, yeah.
That hit number 3 on the Billboard charts.
Oh wow.
Back in the day. I mean, that's one of the that I think it is even up to Ballroom Blitz. It's still tracked even better than Ballroom Blitz.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. But Willie just is one of those things where, even kids that their mothers sing that song to them. So,
I was curious, the Suite, would you say you guys were kind of bigger back in England always than you were in the US, but or were you equally as popular, would you say?
Richie would know more, but I think it is true. It was bigger in England, and I think somehow things got a little messed up over here as far as promoting. Richie, you know more about that, right? When they came over here on
yeah,
the first tours.
people know the songs more than in the
Yeah,
US.
yeah.
Songs more than they know the name, the Suite. Unless you got Desolation Boulevard, you're like, okay, the Suite.
Yeah.
But
Fox on the Run.
Canada, because there's that English connection, and I don't know, something about distribution, everybody knows the Suite up there.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we're received big time up there, like, oh yeah, the Suite's playing.
Wow.
But it's been, after 2 decades with the band,
Yeah.
close to 2 decades, it's like unbelievable. It's like it's always been an uphill battle. Like, who, Suite, who, what,
But yeah, the people are still coming to the show, so they still love you, and the fact that I have no doubt when the new album drops, people are gonna buy it, and then that's gonna be fun for you guys to finally have some new tunes to play.
Absolutely. And like you said, it solidifies the band and what we are now, that
Yeah.
we're writing songs. Like Tom said, it's not just a nostalgia act or legacy act. Of course we do that, and that's where we came from.
Yeah.
But we are writing and progressing, and keeping that whole live show going, keeping the music alive.
Sure. And Jimmy, as a new member, I'm kind of curious, from your perspective. I mean, it seems like the fans have been pretty accepting of you and Patrick joining the band, and you
Mhm.
don't really get too much backlash. I mean, that must be kind of a great feeling, to know, hey, they're accepting me.
Absolutely. When Richie and I had jammed before at a couple jams around LA, so he hit me up originally to join the band, and I was excited. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I would love to play that because being a kid in the '70s and singing along with Little Willie here
Oh,
at Ballroom Blitz, Fox on the Run. I played it at my sixth grade like talent show kind of thing. I knew a little bit of guitar, so
yeah.
I could do some chords, but me and my buddies played that. So that's my first time on stage. And now I'm playing with the band, you
Wow,
know?
wow. Yeah, that's got to be a great feeling. Now, let me ask you, Richie, how did you first learn about Jimmy, and what was your how did you know he was the guy?
Well, we did the Universal Bar and Grill. I decided I wanted a celebrity jam.
Okay.
And I met the gal there. She just decided to revive. The new owners of Universal Bar and Grill in Toluca Lake in Los Angeles. So it was like it just kind of happened. Actually, through my daughter, she owned another place, like a restaurant,
Oh,
and
wow.
we're putting this Universal Bar and Grill. So the only problem is that everybody knew this place it was a dump. So they hired me to bring all the celebrities in, and they paid me well.
Wow.
I brought in the celebrity jam, so I called Ralph from the Scorpions, and then we had Gilby up there, and then the guys in Sweet. We were at that time. It was Mitch Perry was
Okay.
our, if you know Mitch,
Yeah.
and Mitch was killing it, great guitarist and everything, but he had some physical problems. So, but during that time, I heard Jimmy play, and I went, "Whoa,
Yeah. Yeah.
cat can play, man." I like, okay. I mean, there's a lot of guys coming up, okay, and a lot of well-known guys, but it was like so it was in the back of my mind that entire time. If it ever comes to having to bring in somebody besides Mitch Perry, I recommended Jimmy,
Oh,
and
wow. Wow. Wow.
that's how it happened.
And I think you have not disappointed, Jimmy, and you're going to be on the new record. That's great, you guys. Tom, take it away, my friend.
Sure. So I see you guys have some tour dates coming up, and you mentioned Canada. I was going to ask how your reception in Canada is, but you already told us that. So it looks like you're going to Canada, British Columbia, all up through there this
Yes.
summer. Are you
Yeah.
going to come back to
Festivals.
festivals? Oh, nice, nice. What about a United States tour to follow up with this record?
Yeah, I mean, we have the dates are coming in. We're kind of doing some shifting because of recording and stuff. So the dates that we have, be doing a show in Huber Heights in Ohio coming up with April Wine and
Molly Hatchet.
Oh,
Molly
wow.
Hatchet.
Yeah.
We've got different dates. So U.S. more dates are being added on daily. But we love to play live. And in Canada, it's off the hook. Last year we did, of all bands, we were with Bachman Turner Overdrive, and we were with UB40 at
Wow.
Sophie Stadium in Toronto. And I don't know, there's about 10,000 people there that just went crazy at that stadium.
I
And
bet.
we burn it up. Nobody can read the songs, but when you got the chemistry and you got it all, I mean, what can you say?
And
Nice.
then,
I think once you guys mix in this new album too, the stuff from the new album, you guys gonna be playing some of that on your live tour? Because this stuff is really good. And I'm not just saying that. I really like it a lot. I think
Yeah.
that Insane is definitely that song is gonna take you guys to the next level. I really believe that. And if the
Thank
next
you.
one's even better, I
Talk
can't wait
about
to hear that.
Insane playing live. He's going to tell us right now.
Thank you. Yeah, we absolutely we play Insane for sure, and we play a little Miracle. We got them both in there. We want to show that we're a current band. We're doing our own thing. So they are in there, and as we keep writing, we will add what we think will fit in the set.
and Patrick's a great frontman. I got to ask you, Richie, when Patrick joined the band, I was curious. Did you just kind of allow him to do his thing, or did you say, I want you to kind of move around on stage like the original guys, or because I think he's great. Like, his voice, he could do a beautiful ballad. He could do a beautiful, a crazy rocker like Insane.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, the situation is we really tried to duct tape him down because he,
Yeah,
but you can't,
yeah,
that didn't stick. So you just let Patrick go out like a wild man.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
we do our thing out there. We don't have to, we're not those guys. We play the music and honor that, but we don't, we're not dressing like that. We don't have to act like that. We
no,
do
no.
our thing.
I think that's why the fans are so accepting of it. You're
Hmm.
not trying to be a nostalgia to what the band once was. You're just kind of being the sweet, 2025. This is who we are now.
That's it. That's
Uh,
it.
yeah,
Well, here's a great memory I have when we played with you guys. So after we came off stage, my 4-year-old grandson was there. You guys start playing Little Willie. He puts his fingers up and he starts banging his head, banging and stuff like that. My son looks at me. I've never seen him do that before. I said, "Well, he must love the sweet then."
Oh, that's awesome. Love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
so
was a
much
fun
fun.
show.
yeah,
It was. It was. It was nice to meet you up there. And what a great guitar sound you had up there and stuff. I mean, and here's
Thanks.
another. We brought the back line for you guys, but just to plug in there, man, your guitar has a great sound to it. I loved it. So,
Thank you, sir. Yeah, just, Gibson Marshall, turn that stuff up. There you go.
yep,
and
absolutely. I'm a Marshall, man.
Tom, what I love about that story is, you wouldn't expect a 4-year-old react to a song that way, and again, without even him being old enough to understand what the song's even about, he's just going off the beat of it, and just kind of, it's a
Right.
fun tune, even a
But
4-year-old.
the worst part about it is he's came to all my concerts since he's been born, and he does it for these guys. He's throwing the horns up. I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Like,
Yeah.
There you
it was
go.
funny. What a great show. I had a good time. You guys were great guys to work with too. You guys come back up through the area again. Hope we can do another show with you guys.
Would
We're
love
getting ready
to.
to go to Walton too. But I really think that that insane song. I don't mean to keep going back to it, but I just love the guitar riff. I love the driving sound. It's like it just takes you guys into the 21st century. I'm telling you, it shows how you guys have evolved as a band, and I love to see that. You're not just sitting back in the 70s and 80s. You guys are in the 21st
Yeah, yeah,
century. Just
they're not trying to
kudos
write
to
the
that.
next. They're not trying to write the next ballroom blitz.
No.
Fox on the Run. And you've been around those bands that have done that, and it never works. And that's why I just love the fact you guys are writing new tunes now. Like, what's the writing process for this fleet? Like, you guys are working on a new album, but were a lot of these tunes songs you guys individually had laying around, or did you get together and jam them out?
It depends really. Insane came from an idea and then we grew up from there. I can maybe have a riff and in rehearsal in our writing session, I'll show that and then it grows from there. Richie a lot of times has maybe a full song and we try that. Or Richie will come up with a beat and say, hey, works up, let's see. What do you get out of this? We do like that.
And I love Richie the fact that that you're taking part in the interview, and I say that because so oftentimes it'll be the lead singer and the guitar player doing the interview, and um, I checked out other interviews you've done, so I know it's something you do. But I also dig the fact that not a lot of drummers are as involved as you with the writing of the music. There's some great ones like Carmine Appice comes to mind, but talk a little bit about who influenced you, because I really dig the fact that as a drummer you're so involved in the music.
Well, that's the thing. I play guitar almost. I'm getting to the point as I play guitar almost as good as I play drums.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and as far as a vocalist, I'm a blues singer
Wow.
and a lot of stuff. And you'll be hearing my material come out as me as Richie Onori, the solo artist.
Well,
I just recently did a version of Ballroom Blitz.
wow.
So I'm very involved in the writing process too. If you listen to System of the Slaves, that's a song that I wrote. I don't know if you listen to that or Wasted in Hollywood. Those
I'll
are
have to listen to that. Now, let me just say, Richie, the fact that you've come on the show today, that when you're ready to put some of that stuff out, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to have you back to talk about that, because we had Jimmy on talking about his solo music and also the band he does with Patrick Butterside. So if you got more than one thing going, we're happy to help you promote it.
thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah, the process as a drummer, to answer your question fully, is that being in the game for this long, a lot of people don't realize that as a drummer, you sit there and you try to throw. You don't, at that point in time, I didn't. When I was with Satter, I didn't know how to articulate and to be able to communicate my musical ideas as a drummer.
Yeah.
So I'd be sitting there, but what happens is you become an arranger.
Sure.
You learn to throw different things because you want to cut. Drummers have a talent about how to arrange a song a lot of times.
Yeah.
So you got Phil Collins, Dave Grohl, Don Henley. These guys coming with the rhythm factor, okay, is a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's why Neil Peart wrote a lot of the lyrics too. You don't know the talent that comes from drummers.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That's why I bring it up. Yeah.
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 Just to finish that up. Yeah.
And then it's funny, like you said, all the great ones you mentioned. Roger Taylor's another one that he can sing, he can play drums, he writes, and it's just I guess how involved you want to be. But everybody I think knows when you're creating music, it typically starts with the guitar riff maybe, but once you get in a recording studio, they typically do the drums first, from what I understand.
Yes. That's the foundation. Yeah, you get the drums down. That's the foundation. You build on that. Once you got a good drum track, there you go. You're set to start it off.
So Richie's the man. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's a good place to go, Jimmy. Is you talk about the fact when you joined the band? Hey, it's great that I grew up on this band. I mean,
Mhm.
that's kind of like the ultimate dream, I guess, and that you're up there playing these songs you grew up on.
Oh, totally. It's exciting for me to do that.
You're adding to a legacy with songs you're involved with writing and stuff.
Hmm. That's the best part too. That again, the continuation. The moving the band forward into now it's 2025. To keep that going under the sweet name. It's cool.
Yeah, and there are those bands that do you go out there and um, there's one or two even that don't even have an original member, but they just it's a business and people go out, they love the songs that much. I mean, the Sweet is one of those bands, but I dig the fact, like I said, you guys are working on new music. It's not just a nostalgia act, and I love the fact that fans are so accepting of it, the new members.
Yeah, yeah, for the most part. And we're turning on more and more people. And I mean, just recently you got Foreigner out there with no original guys. They're doing an acoustic tour, but the music stands. You got the Grassroots out there with nobody. There's a lot of bands like that. And at this point, because rock and roll is old now, it's been around so long, it becomes a brand,
Yeah.
right? So the songs stand, the songs should still be out there live.
Yeah, speaking for me and Tom, I can say that we're at an age where, a lot of our heroes we grew up on are either retiring or passing away. And we're at
Yeah.
a point in, music in music where it's like the old breed is kind of dying out, what they, I
Yeah.
guess, call dinosaur rock. But I believe there's going to be a new breed of rock gods, down the line.
Agreed. Yeah, I see more and more young guys playing rock and roll, looking like they're right out of the '70s. It's great. I love that.
One of my all-time favorite bands that's around now is the Dead Daisies, and they've been around for probably going on 15, 20 years now. But the interesting thing about them, that people love the songs, it's great music, but kind of like Whitesnake, always a revolving door of musicians, but they're great musicians, and it doesn't.
Always great guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, I played with Doug. I played with Michael Devin,
yeah,
Brian Tishy. He was with them for a while. Brian. I know
yeah.
you
Brian
had
on
him
the
on
show,
your
he's a
show.
great guy. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's great
But
to
I
hear.
like those guys keeping the rock and roll going.
So, excuse me, Jimmy, I was talking over you. You were mentioning that you played with Brian Tishy. When did you guys play together?
We did when I first jammed with him was 2019 for Moby Dick's the Bonzo Bash. He
Okay,
would
okay.
always put on at the NAMM show, and that's where he's got all these all-star drummers playing. And then after that, we were doing Moby Dick's mainly in Vegas, but we did a couple shows here in LA, but it was always in Vegas we did. And I recently just did a fire aid benefit for the fires out here with Brian and Chaz, Moby Dick's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brian's a super talented musician. I'm sure people know who we're talking about, Brian Tishy, but what I love about him too, he's one of those multi-instrumentalists. He can play guitar, he can sing, he can play drums. That's what he's mostly known
Oh,
for.
he's just a monster. Yeah. And we were and the sweet tie-in, he was saying how much an influence Mick Tucker was for him and the whole band. He loves Sweet too. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, Tom, before we wrap it up, do you have any further questions for the guys?
Sure. Just why don't we tell people where they can buy your music at right now? It's on Apple Music and stuff like that. Why don't you
You
tell them how
got
they can get that?
Apple, Spotify, YouTube, any streaming platform. It's on all streaming platforms. Get it from there. Uh, get in touch with us on thesweetband.com, SP Suite on Instagram, The Suite on Facebook, um, The Suite Official on TikTok. So we're always posting. Look for dates on there. Online, you can see our tour dates. Also, we're going to be on bands in town very soon. Also,
Okay.
Excellent. Excellent. Well,
Well,
thank you guys so much for coming on. What a great time talking with you guys. Really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to the next song. Now you guys got me really excited. Okay.
yeah, you guys are definitely welcome back anytime. And Richie, I'm serious. When your other band gets ready to drop any new music, feel free to reach out, and we'd love to have you back on to talk about that as well.
Absolutely. Pleasure, guys.
right
Hey,
on. You guys are great.
Next Tuesday. I'll send Chip the link so you guys can post it and share it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for being on, man. Talk to you guys
Thank
soon.
you. Always appreciate it.
Thanks.
Bye bye.